Hello, welcome everyone to an extremely special tea time with me, Amanda Prochaska. I am here with Loren Marr. She is our newest hire to the Wonder team. Yay, Loren! We are welcoming Loren as our new head of procurement services at Wonder Services. So we thought, why not get you all introduced to Loren? So, Loren, welcome.
Thanks, Amanda. So excited to be here and really anxious to get started and really dig in. Um, love, love what's going on at Wonder Services, and I can't wait to be a big part of it.
Me too, actually. It's like I was telling my husband over the weekend, I've been so blessed to have so many dreams come true. We've been thinking about this role for a very, very long time, trying to curate it, understand what we wanted it to do, getting to the business to the point where we can bring on someone like yourself has been a journey. So it's just wonderful that you are here with us today and that our paths crossed at the right time, right? Like you have an amazing background in procurement, customer service, customer experience, et cetera, which we'll get into today. But that you reached out several like couple of months ago and we started having conversations. It just people are placed in your world at the right moments and I'm just so much in awe about that. So grateful that you are here. Why don't we start by sharing your background with those listening today? So, what has your journey been like over the past several years and beyond?
Sure. I'd be glad to share. I have a lengthy career in procurement, and even back in the days when we called it purchasing. I started in the aviation industry at an airline about aircraft engines and electrical instruments, and moved out of that, and I went to what now is SAP Ariba. But I went there and I actually was the head of their global procurement department, which was a really amazing opportunity. And it was a fairly small organization when I started. And then through some acquisitions, it got much larger. So I had the experience and the ability to start something from the ground up and build it along with the company. Not that unlike what you're doing with Wonder Services.
Yeah.
And in fact, we got bought at the time, Ariba, by Omega SAP, which was another amazing experience because it actually opened the door for me to do a lot of very different things. Although I was in procurement and ran the global procurement team for the majority of my career there, towards the end of my tenure there, I actually was able to do some special projects that let me lead some transformations internally through acquisitions of very large companies like Concur when SAP bought
Right.
Concur, doing their S4 deployment, which was just an experience you just don't get every day. It was really great to be on the inside and represent the procurement function for that. And then I also got the opportunity, and I made a pivot in my career because I really was passionate about making procurement better and honestly making it fun, because we got to the point where we were doing so many things and it was a grind all the time. And there were some solutions and tools and processes that could make things a lot more enjoyable, and we could have time to get to the things that we really went into the profession to do. And that was with customer experience. So I was able to go on the other side of the house. I was able to get installed in with customers, very large customers at SAP Ariba, and help them leverage solutions, tools, processes, best in class practices to really, help them, enable them to be successful and reach their goals. So that was an incredible experience, and I'm very thankful for that. And I will add, the last couple of years, I actually spent at a small startup in the AI for procurement arena. And this has also been just an amazing experience. I am also very blessed to have had this opportunity. A bunch of folks from Ariba, including one
Mm-hmm.
of the founders, got together to do this. So we put together the customer success program there, and that was really interesting. Which leads me to you, because I told you this when I talked to you. It
Right.
sounded kind of hokey at the time, but I was like, Amanda, I feel like I know you. I'm reading these posts. I'm following you. I'm hanging on every word. I said, I want to do what I want to do at this stage in my career. And I was looking for, what am I going to do next? I want something really meaningful and fulfilling. And I wasn't coming to you for a job, honestly. I was more
Right.
coming,
We were just
how'd you do,
networking.
how'd you do that? Yeah,
Right.
how'd you get
Yes.
there? So, and then as it evolved and started talking, and then my timeline moved up of being available and doing some work.
Mhm.
Got to speak with Raven and talk to
Yeah.
her, and we connected. I'm like, this is really cool. So it brings me to where I am now, as the head of procurement for Wonder Services, and I'm thrilled to be here.
Your journey. So like Raven and I have had a lot of conversations about this role, and I'm very passionate about everyone that we bring to the forefront at Wonder Services. I feel like needs a combination of sitting in the seat and also understanding how consulting works, right? So it's a marriage of the two. And our whole mission is to delight our customers, like that from day one. Like if we can delight our customers and they can win in whatever they're doing, then procurement really prospers, right? We can take it to the next level. We can get the investments and all these wonderful AI tools, and everyone becomes better because of that. And that's been the vision from day one. And your journey encapsulates that you took the opportunity to go learn customer experience and bring your procurement knowledge to that. So when we started talking, it was like light bulbs started going off. We're like, wow, like this could be a possibility. So really excited about what you're going to be able to bring to our clients that we already have today and our potential customers of the future, and blending all of those experiences together. So cannot wait for that. But I am curious. I always love asking this question, especially as a founder, right? Like, what drew you to Wonder Services?
Well, it's much of what you talk about a lot, Amanda.
Mhm.
It is, it's made, and it comes from a place of, love and wonder and wanting to make it better. And
Yes.
the fact that it's practitioners, folks that really know procurement and sourcing and supply chain, is really resonates, because it's one of the challenges that we find in consultant. You can be the best consultant and be the best programmer or
Hmm.
deployment implementation leader, and if you don't know the nuance of the field and been there and feel their pain and come to it as a peer, I think you lose something there. So that's
Hmm.
extremely important. And it might sound small, but that is key. And I think it really allows you to dig in with customers and address their unique situations, very unique to them, each and every one of them, and share perspective that others may not be able to, or likely couldn't, because they haven't been there, they haven't done it.
Yeah. And that's we always call our team members Sherpas, like, because that's what a Sherpa does, right? Like
Yeah,
they put it
help
their
you
heart,
along.
they put their heart into it too. They don't have to be out there in the freezing cold climbing a mountain, right, with you, but they are there because they love the journey with you, and they also want you to succeed, right? And they have the skills, the experience, the guidance, et cetera, to be able to help you do that. And that's what I think is just a great analogy of what our people at Wonder Services bring to the table.
Yep,
So
I love it.
yeah. Yeah. So let's talk procurement transformation a bit. Obviously, you've had a vast amount of experience doing this in different realms. What is your approach to procurement transformation?
Yeah, I really think the approach for me is to first identify, what are the goals? What are we looking
Mhm.
to do? Like, where are we headed? What does it look like? What does success look like for you? Because honestly, it's very different for each, not just each client or company, but each person within those companies.
Yes.
So it's important to recognize that. And another thing that really drew me to Wonder Services is the, you know, the change leadership, not maybe
Yeah.
change management, which might be something kind of tactical, but the change leadership, because I think we need to recognize that. So my direction and what I like to lead with transformation is to first understand, you know, what are the challenges, what are the issues, where do you want to be, and then where you are today, and let's you know, let's
Figure
forge
out a path.
forward with the path. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, to
Yeah.
do it.
Mission and measurement. So we talk about it all the time. Like what's the mission? What's the measurement? Because I was just chatting with a client. He's been a client of ours for years now, right? And he's looking at expanding into other areas of the globe with some of what he's built in North America. And he was asking me yesterday, where do I start? And it's like, well, your starting place could be completely different from someone that I'm talking to tomorrow. And it's all because your mission and measurement might be different. So what are you trying to achieve? And then let's figure out the path forward from there. It is it's one thing that I'm really passionate about. And Loren, you probably have had experiences with this, like everything's not playbookable, right? Where a lot of consulting firms, it's like, hey, we're going to take this mid-sized company playbook, and this is going to be the playbook no matter what their circumstances are or what they're trying to achieve. And yes, you might get a technology deployed that way, but you might not do a transformation that way. And the tech might be running, but not useful at the end of the day. So that is a really good thing, like to think through. And anyone listening today, if you're facing a transformation or you're trying to figure out why did a transformation go wrong, the greatest starting point is that mission and measurement, because without that, you're really not anchored in anything.
Yes, it's perfect. It really is,
Yeah.
and you know, it's well beyond the technology, which we all
Oh,
know.
yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
you know, that part, it's easy to say that, but getting by that or understanding how to apply, you know, the change leadership and in the training needs and just the cultural differences within organizations is really key.
Yes, it is. I actually just completed editing the second to last chapter of the book that I'm writing about this topic, change leadership. I think my husband and I came up with the title today too, so I'm kind of jazzed about it, but I'm not going to release that yet. But one of the things when I think about change leadership is how that is going to change when or as AI continues to roll out across the industry. So you mentioned that you worked at an AI startup for the last several years. I know that company very well in the leadership, and they're all amazing people. So where do you think the role of AI and technology are going to play in modern procurement moving forward?
Yeah, this is a passion for me. It really is. You know, I love technology, period. And to live in a time in our industry where something's going to be so huge as in AI. And really where I think it comes in for procurement specifically is it it gets rid of all the noise, everything that we've had to do and we continue to do, and which keeps us from doing what we really want to do and need to do, the strategic
Right.
activities, the relationship building. None of that goes away. And I think there's a lot to be said about AI once folks embrace it and understand. You know, we talk a lot in theory about AI
Mhm.
and what is AI and you need AI. What does that mean? And I think we really need to make that a lot smaller.
Mhm.
And I read this recently and I thought this was really cool. Someone said, you know, AI isn't going to take your procurement job, but somebody that knows and embraces AI might. So
Yep.
it's
Yep.
just that
Yep.
we have the opportunity now to seriously put aside all the non-value added, transactional activities that we've had to spend our time, because they're important and they need to be
Yeah, they
done.
have to done. Yeah.
They have to get done. But honestly, the procurement professional and the folks, the reason they got into it's to do the strategic, important work on the most important relationships and bringing the value, and whether it's savings or efficiencies or avoiding risk. There's so
Hmm.
much there, and I think that's really going to be where AI comes into procurement. Is we finally get to touch it all, and
Yeah.
we get to make the impact that we've always thought we were working towards. But honestly, the dirty little secret with some of the old digital transformations we were doing, we were still doing the old way. We just added some technology on top of it. We didn't alleviate or remove that work,
Yeah.
where now AI is going to do that.
Yeah. I have like this big dream. Um, when I first started Wonder Services, not a lot of people know this, but actually started two companies. I started Wonder Services and another company that was focused on supplier performance. And I still very much have a passion for supplier performance. And when I think about the atmosphere of what's coming with I think about all the things that we could be doing to unlock innovation and capability within our supply base, because we're going to have the time to do it. And that to me is magic. Like, if we can think about our suppliers like we do with our own teams, if you're effectively managing a high performing team, what are you doing with that team? You're increasing their capabilities, leveraging their capability, driving innovation within the team. Like, you're doing all of those things because you have a high performing team. Let's take those same skill sets and apply them to our supply base, and it's gonna unlock so much within procurement, and really untapped potential and value that we have not had the time to do.
Absolutely. In
Yeah.
fact, I think there's just an immense amount of AI related benefits to suppliers and supplier relationship, and honestly, benefiting suppliers, getting access to more, being aware, having a smarter customer who's coming to you with the knowledge, and the most successful suppliers, it isn't always the lowest price, the ones that are really bringing the value and
Hmm.
that are partnering with you. Yeah, I think that's amazing, and
Yeah.
I feel very similarly to your passion there.
I can't wait. I just can't wait. So, speaking of the future, let's talk about like what your first 90 days looks like. If people are watching today and they're like, I love Wonder Services, or I have no idea anything about Wonder Services, but I love Loren, like, how do they reach out to you? What does the future look like over the next couple of months for you?
Yeah, it's great. I've been thinking very hard and spending a lot of time, thoughtful thoughts about how to spend my time, and I've already been
Mhm.
doing it. And a lot of it is really just listening and taking it in and making sure I've got the firm grasp on Wonder Services. And I feel like it's very clear. Messaging is very clear for Wonder Services, and I love that, and it resonates with me. So I want to capture that. And one of the things that comes to mind for me about Wonder Services, that we really show up differently. And that
Mhm.
sounds silly, but we do. We show up
Yeah.
differently. It isn't the typical consulting engagement where you come in and there's a checklist to fill out. And so I want to make sure that we keep that going, and that
Yeah.
able to add to that. I'm I want to understand the strengths. I want to understand the customers, what their challenges are, what their pain points are, forget about what capabilities you understand and know. If you
Yeah.
had everything, what are those? What are the big dreams? And really talking through that, and giving people the capacity to dream bigger.
Yeah.
We're in a place where a lot can happen really fast, and understanding that and really partnering. You mentioned something earlier about speaking with a client who's
Hmm.
back with you to do another another phase or
Yep.
different project. And that's key, because I think when you bring not just the quick wins, which we have to have quick wins, and I want to focus on that quick wins, because it actually helps folks justify what they're doing and how they're spending their time and spending their
Yep.
money, but also setting them up for the long-term success, because I think that gets overlooked sometimes. There's that quick win. I handed you a bunch of savings. It made your return on investment positive, but I really think the long game is where it is, and setting folks up, even if it's very staged. Here's where you are. This is what you can do now, and then we're going to take another look at this. We're going to take
Yes.
another look at this and get the phased approach, and outline that, and something that we can do for each customer.
Love that. Well, I am so excited. Excited is like an understatement of how I feel about you coming on board. So thank you so much for sharing a little bit about your background today. It's really obvious that you have a passion for what you do and the clients and customers that you serve. So I just can't wait to unlock that together at Wonder Services and hopefully continue to dream big within the organization and beyond. So thank you so much for joining us today. If anyone wants to reach out to you, where do they find you?
Oh, absolutely. I welcome that. They can
Mhm,
always find me on LinkedIn through
mhm.
the Wonder Services website, or you're welcome to email me anytime. It's just my name. It's Loren.Marr@wonderservices.net.
Yeah.
Um, and it's Loren. My name is spelled a little uniquely, but by all means, I welcome questions, interactions. Can't wait to get out in person and meet some folks too at some of the industry events coming up. So really looking forward
Yeah.
to it.
First one's coming up here in a few weeks, down in Orlando, right? We're going to be down at ProcureCon Indirect East. Not only are you and I going to be down there, but we're bringing the entire Wonder team down for a planning meeting. So I am really looking forward to getting everyone together, especially because we're all remote all over the globe. It will be great to hug and say hi to people in person.
Absolutely. And again, perfect timing. I'm super excited to get to meet everyone in person. It does make a difference in
Yeah.
this remote world.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, welcome again. And thanks everyone for watching today, learning a little bit about Loren and what we're doing at Wonder Services. As always, if you loved this video, hit the like button, hit subscribe. We bring you all kinds of different content on the Tea Time channel. Interviews like this with not only amazing people like Loren, but founders across the procurement space. We've also had people talk about women's safety. We touch on all kinds of different topics, but I love bringing these videos to you because it's not only insightful, but it's real world, casual conversations with amazing people day in and day out. So stay tuned for more and cheers until next time, Loren.
Thanks, Amanda. Bye, everyone.